Uh,
All right, hello boys and girls. My name is Miss Winan, and this is my partner teacher, and we will be your teachers for this homeschool unit for the next 6 weeks.
yep, hi guys. As Miss Winland said before, my name is Mr. Romer. As you can see, I'm a big basketball fan. I got LeBron here, Ravens, really into sports, and I am a PE major with Mrs. Winland at Salisbury University. So, good to meet you guys.
So we're really excited to get to know you guys this year through what we're going to be using is going to be called Flipgrid. So you'll learn more about that at the end of the lesson. So hopefully we'll be able to do that so that we can get to know all of you guys better. And so without further ado, let's get started into our lesson here. So what you will need for today's lesson, you're going to need a paper and a pencil. You're going to need this to record your scores, and you're going to need to hold on to that paper to save them when we get to the end of our unit. You're also going to need a yoga mat or a towel to use if you don't have a soft surface to do activities on. You're going to need free weights, or manipulative heavy objects. That could be books, big like soup cans, anything like that. Or you can get a bucket and fill it with heavy things.
All right, so the class overview for the day. So the first thing we're going to do is an instant activity. So the first thing we're going to do is just going to get our blood flowing, get our heart racing, try to get our heart rate up, make sure we're getting out of our chairs, get moving. I know a lot of you guys have been bored in quarantine, I know, so it's good to get up and get out. And then we're going to go over what we're learning, what our activity focus for the day is, and then our review and closure.
All right, so today we are working in the standard 3, which is health enhancing level of physical activity and fitness. We will be demonstrating appropriate technique on resistance training machines and with free weights, more so focusing on the free weights because obviously we do not have access to resistance training machines, but if you do, that's perfect, works great for muscular strength. We will also be identifying types of strength exercises and stretching exercises for personal fitness development. And by the end of this, you will also be able to analyze, according to your beliefs, social support network and participation requirements, activities that can be pursued in the local environment. So that standard as well is great for this time right now in Corona because that we have to work in our local environments. We can't go out to the gym. You guys can't come be with us in person at Salisbury. So it's gonna work just great.
All right, so as I said before, we're going to go over what we're learning today. So we're just going to go over a couple of vocab. So you guys have probably heard these terms before, but I'm just going to go over them again just so you guys have a better understanding. So cardiovascular fitness, that's going to be the ability of the heart, lungs, blood vessels to function efficiently when a person exercises the body. So that's going to be, your normal cardio, your jogging, your sprinting, swimming. Core lifts, that's going to be the 5 ground-based lifts most commonly used. So you've probably seen these in the real world, but bench press, you're going to come down to your chest, make sure you're 90 degrees, lift. I'm sure you guys probably don't have a gym at your home, but if you do, it's good to use. Parallel squats, that's going to be the same thing. That's just going to be, your normal squat, hands out, knees bent, butt out, making sure you're getting those quads stretched out. And then power clean, which is basically another essential lift, which is good to work your back and back muscles. And then incline bench, which is just more on the upper chest. And then front squat, which is basically the same as like a squat, except the weight's going to be in front of you. So endurance, that's the stamina or the ability to keep going for longer periods. So that includes cardiorespiratory, heart breathing endurance, and muscular endurance. So that's going to be exactly as it says, the ability to go for long periods of time. So if you can do 100 push-ups, you probably got some good muscular endurance. So the FIT principle, that's going to be your frequency, intensity, time, and type. So anytime you're working out, you want to know how many sets you're doing, you want to know how hard you're going, how much weight you're doing, how long of a time you're doing, and what type of exercise you're doing. What muscles you're working, what exercises are you doing for what muscles, stuff like that. Form is very, very, very important, especially in the gym. Just make sure you're putting your body parts in the right areas. When you do a push-up, we'll go over it, but making sure you're going 90 degrees, you're not hurting your chest or anything, your back, making sure your back's flat, all that stuff. And then, as I said before, muscular endurance, that's the power of a muscle to keep on working. So the max number of reps one can push, pull, or carry. So um, I'll kind of go back into that because muscular strength is the ability of muscles to work. So the max amount of weight one can lift, push, pull, or carry one time. So muscular strength is going to be more like instant, more in your face kind of thing. How much can I bench in, like what's my max bench? And then muscular endurance is, how many times can I lift 100 pounds in a certain amount of time, or how many push-ups can I do? That's going to be your muscles, how long can they last over time. Okay.
All right, so you guys will hear more of this vocab as we go through the lesson, but right now you need to make sure that you have some space available to you so that you can get up and get moving. And we are going to do our instant activity, which is dealing with our cardiovascular fitness, which is going to help us get our blood pumping and our muscles warm so that we are ready to get into our muscular strength and endurance activities. So we are going to come right here, and Mr. Romer is going to be doing this with us. All right.
For this warm-up, we're going to be doing 10 different exercises at 30 seconds each for a total of 5 minutes. Also, this routine does not require any equipment, so with that said, let's go ahead and get started with our first exercise, the lateral step with a pull. Get ready? And begin. You're doing kind of a side lunge back behind you, a reverse lunge, stepping down, leaning forward just slightly, and as well as adding in that arm motion, that pull motion. So as you swing those arms down, you actually want to work against yourself, pulling those arms down back by your sides, and then extend them right back up as you come back up from that lunge, and then go right back in over to the other side. So keep alternating back and forth, left to right, same time as moving those arms. We're going to move on to the next exercise, the slow rocking butt kickers, and switch it up. Just going to move back and forth nice and slow, bringing that heel up to tap that butt, just alternating that weight back and forth from foot to foot. Now make sure that you're just slowly bringing that heart rate up. You don't have to really push into it real hard at this point, but by the time you're done with this routine, you should be sweating. So every single one of these exercises should get just a little bit harder than the last. We've got a few seconds left till we move to that next exercise. Coming up next, we have high knee pulls. And switch it up. Focus on that high knee motion first, driving those knees up, making sure you're alternating back and forth, nice, slow, controlled motions, getting that knee as high as you possibly can every single time, as well as adding in that arm motion. Every single time you draw those arms down, you want to be working against yourself, pulling those arms down, as well as getting a little bit of a crunch as you lean those shoulders forward at the bottom of that range of motion with those arms. Just got a few seconds left. We're going to switch to that next exercise. We've got arm swings plus a lateral step coming up next. And switch it. So those arms are going to swing straight across in front of your chest. Just a stretch back behind you as well as bring them across.
That looks like the most audio.
All right, good job, guys. Remember that we're doing this to get
And
warm
switch
for
it up.
our
This is just
muscle
regular jogging in
strengthening
place,
and
nothing
endurance
fancy.
activities
Just slowly
later.
keeping that heart rate coming.
Hopefully you guys can feel your heart beating, because I know mine is.
Exactly. Remember, this is working on our cardiovascular endurance.
Almost done. Just a few more seconds.
You guys are doing great. Good job, guys. Keep it up. All right, front kicks is going to work the back of the quads, just kind of stretching those out a little bit. Self move a little bit. Hopefully you guys are sweating by now. I know I am a little bit. All right, now you guys are going to assume this one a lot box or something.
Really nice quick motion. Again, trying to get that heart up just a little bit more. Feel free to add in a little bit of a jump rope motion with those hands just to get a little bit more
with our health activity.
More exercise out of it to try to get that heart up a little bit faster if you need to.
Make sure you're getting your heart rate up, your blood pumping, and your muscles warm.
Also a quad exercise. Stretch out your back a little bit. Make sure your back's flat, touch your toes. Alternating sides. Try to look to the side when you're doing them. Make sure really emphasizing that stretch. You guys are doing good. All right, good job, guys.
All right, awesome work with that, guys. Now we're going to be looking at our health activity.
Newborn baby skin is delicate.
Each week,
Protect and nourish it with Baby Dove. With 100% skin natural.
Different health activity that we'll be focusing on that will be going along with our fitness activities. So for today's, we're focusing on healthy eating. So.
Hopefully this will pull up sweet. So this is going to go over the, I'll explain most of it. This is just going to go over the My Plate and basically your health activity for the day. All right. I can't see you, that's okay. All right, good morning, boys. What the? That's weird. Huh. Preach vegetables. I always preach vegetables. So good for you. The other half is going to be grains and proteins. So top's going to be grains. It's going to be like, I'll go over in a second, but like your pasta, your oatmeal, stuff like that. Then your protein's going to be like, you know, your meats, your strong foods, your eggs, stuff like that. And then you want to have dairy for the day as well. Making sure you get all those in at some point. So we're just going to go over a couple things real quick. So obviously the My Plate plan shows your food group targets. So your food is personalized based on your age, sex, height, weight, and physical activity level. So everybody's plate's going to be different. You know, if someone's bigger, if someone's male or female, physically active, you know, the football players, they buy down 4,000 calories a day, but here I am eating like 2,000 and still skinny as a rail. So it just happens, but always get the bulk up. That's what the protein's for. So yeah, obviously age too. So you guys are probably on the younger side. I'm 21, so probably around 2,000 calories. You guys maybe like 1,500, 2,000 is like the ideal. So just going over a few things. Like I said before, we got the fruits. So fruits fresh, maybe fresh, canned, frozen, or dried, cut up, pureed, whatever. As long as it's a fruit and you've been in your system, good. Vegetables, they may be raw, cooked, fresh, frozen, canned, or dried, just as dehydrated. And then maybe whole, cut up, or mashed. As long as you're getting the protein or the vegetables in, if you're smashing them and eating them, hey, if that what makes you, if you hate vegetables and you can get them down that way, better than nothing. Grains, so that's going to be your wheat, so like rice, like I said before, oats, barley, bread, pasta, oatmeal, breakfast cereals, tortillas. And then it's also divided into two whole groups. So whole grains and refined grains. Whole grains is going to be a little bit healthier. They have a little bit more fiber. They're going to help you with your digestion a little bit more. And then fourth one is dairy, so anything with milk in it. So that's obviously going to be cream cheese, butter, yogurt, soy milk, um, anything with milk, obviously. Cheese, I already said cheese. And then last one, the protein foods, like I said before, that's going to be your meat, your strong food, your seafood, your beans, your eggs, your basically the foods you eat to build muscle. That's going to be your ideal choice. All right. So when you look on the PowerPoint, hopefully you might not see this, but hopefully you'll see these two links. If I could have you guys click on the first one, it's just going to take you, if you can't get to it, try to just copy and paste the link. But just have you go to it, and it's just, a little game of, it's short, sweet, but, I'll try to help you out, fruits, dairies, proteins, stuff like that. That takes like probably a minute. And then when you guys have done that, you can come over here to the next one, which is going to ask you to make a food diary for the day using my plate. So what's my name? My name is Joseph. I like to say Mr. Warmup. And I am a boy. I'm 21 years old. All right, so let's see here. So right now we're at breakfast. So we have breakfast, lunch, snacks, dinner, and then activities. So I'm not going to do the whole thing, but I'll give you a little rundown. So the dairy for the day, you can say yogurt, add to the fuel. Let's see here. What else do we need? Fruits, bananas. So we're going to add a banana to that. So this is your breakfast, remember. So protein, what's good protein? Say sausage. Not the best, but hey, it's protein. So for the day. And then vegetables. I'm not seeing any vegetables, so we might have to come to the vegetables for lunch, which is okay. Grains, let's see here. Beans and rice, that's always going to be healthy. Maybe not for breakfast, but hey, it's something. So that can be our breakfast for the day. So if you go to lunch, let's see, we were missing vegetables, was it? So maybe you can add in some tomato slices for lunch. Some carrot sticks. Anything. And you're basically going to try to get to that target 2,000 goal. And once you're all said and done, obviously mine's not going to work, but you're going to hit blast off. And you're going to see if your my plate is healthy enough to make it to the essentially moon or not. So I'm challenging you guys to see if you guys can make a healthy enough diet to launch this shit. All right. Let me know if you guys have any questions. And yep, that's pretty much it for the day, guys. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Yep, so hopefully that made sense to you guys. I was just like going over the my plate, the health lesson for the day. What healthy foods are eat, always make sure you're emphasizing fruits and vegetables most important.
Yep, going off that too, you want to make sure if you're exercising that you're also properly fueling your body. So you want to make sure you're getting enough proteins and all of your fruits and vegetables. All right, so let's get into our main activity here. So for our first activity, we are going to be doing some muscular strength challenges. Make sure that you have your pen and paper or your pencil, and you're going to need your heavy object right now and your yoga mat or towel. So muscular strength has to do with how many and how heavy you can do in a single bout of exercise. Some things about muscular strength here. Activities that can improve your muscular strength, which you can do on your own at home, include jumping, balancing, weightlifting, tumbling, so that's like cartwheels and stuff. You can do a shot put, which is where you take the big heavy ball and you throw it as far as you can. Sprinting, because sprinting is a very short bout of exercise that uses your fast twitch muscle fibers instead of your slow twitch. And striking and climbing. So we are going to be doing push-ups. So before we get to this timer, make sure you guys all have adequate space and are ready to go. And we are going to start in 3, 2, 1. All right, Mr. Romer is going to be doing them with you. So remember, you're counting your own how many push-ups you can do in 1 minute. If you cannot do the full extended push-ups, feel free to go to your knees. You can also drop one knee down. Make sure that you're taking your arms to a full 90-degree angle, just like you see in the pictures here, and just as you see Mr. Romer doing. He's doing the modified ones right now. About 30 more seconds to go, you guys. Keep pushing hard. Keep going. Remember, you don't have to be perfect and have them all keep going for the entire time. You want to just see how many you can do. So if you need a break in the middle, go ahead and take a break. But just remember to try and push your heart as much as you can for the whole 60 seconds. We have about 10 more seconds coming up. So go ahead, push as hard as you can here. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, awesome, guys. So now everyone take a break, and you're going to record your results. So write down how many push-ups you did in that 1 minute. Take a break, get some water if you need it. And then as soon as you guys are ready, you can also pause this video if you need more time than the minute that is being allowed right now, and take a longer break if you need. We're going to do 2 rounds of each exercise. So remember, we're doing push-ups, which is muscular strength, testing our muscular strength here. 25 more seconds. Make sure you're cool. Shake it out a little bit if you need to.
Yeah, I know I'm already feeling it.
Remember,
And yeah, don't.
sorry, go ahead.
I'm not good. I was just gonna say, make sure if you need to, you can modify. I'll try to show you guys make these 1 knee, 2 knees. Just making sure you're going 90 degrees, all that.
Yep. All right. And let's start up again, guys. So make sure your elbows are at 90 degrees. Your back should be straight. You shouldn't have any curl in your back. And you're going up and down as many as you can do in the minute allowed. You want your toes to be up, your legs straight if you're doing the not modified, your knees bent, just as Mr. Romer is doing perfectly for us there. 30 more seconds, and then we're going to record our time again, take another break, and get into our next activity. You guys are doing great.
Yeah, don't be afraid to take a break.
Yeah, take breaks in between. You have 10 more seconds here. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome job, guys. So don't forget, you need to record how many you did in that second round on your piece of paper for push-ups. All right. So our next activity we're going to be doing, don't worry about doing anything right now. We're going to be doing front squats. But these we modified to be called kettlebell squats, which in the one, you can see that I have an actual kettlebell, but I also did it so that I used a bucket and put a bunch of heavy objects in it so that I could be using that as my kettlebell. You can also use a free weight, a heavy book. Just make sure you're holding it up at your chest and bending down. All right. So let's start and let's go. When you're doing your squats, your knees are never going to go over your toes. Your legs should be a shoulder width apart, and you should be dropping as low as you can go. Remember, we're doing as many as we can in the minute allowed for us. See, Mr. Romer didn't have a weight, so he's using a heavy box.
Yep, I just put some textbooks in here, some heavy objects. I'm just using that as my front squat. And yes, Ms. Williams said before, making sure you're sticking your butt out. Make sure your knees are not going between your toes. Past your toes, sorry. Making sure you're really getting that burn in your legs. First in the squats. Your glutes. All right, we got 10 more seconds here.
10 more seconds. Keep pushing through it. 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, guys, you all take that break now. Get that piece of paper back out. Write your front squats down, how many you did in that first minute. Take a break. Get some water if you need it. Remember, front squats are actually part of our 5 core lifts. If you remember from our vocabulary that we went over at the beginning. It's one of our core lifts, one that we could actually do while in this time with minimal resources to be able to do it. So about 25 more seconds here. Make sure you're shaking it out. You see Mr. Romer doing some stretches, shaking out his legs.
Yeah, do we ever have to get some water real quick?
All right, and 7, 6, 5, get ready because we're gonna start up again. Grab your object. And we're squatting again. Always making sure your legs are shoulder length apart. Your knees are never passing over your toes. You're keeping a flat back. You're sticking your butt out when you go down and coming up to a straight stance. Remember, keep your weight or your books or whatever right up at your chest. Good job, guys. We're 30 seconds in, only 30 more to go from this point. Remember, if you need to take a break in the middle, you can do that as well. You're just trying to get as many as you can within a minute. It doesn't have to be a minute consecutive, but it does have to be in a minute. All right, and 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good job, guys. Everyone take a break. Grab water, shake it out. And we're gonna be getting into our second activity. So we just did muscular strength. Now we're doing muscular endurance. Muscular endurance, if you guys remember, is what you're doing. It's how long your muscles can perform an activity. So instead of muscular strength, which it's how heavy you can lift, it's how long you can do it. All right, some examples of this are cycling, like people, if you've heard of the Seagull Century that happens every year at Salisbury University. CrossFit, swimming, canoeing, balancing, cross country, hockey, and jump rope. So we're gonna get moving into this one. We're gonna be doing sit-ups for 1 minute. So you need your yoga mat or towel. You're gonna have your arms at your side and you're gonna push them up over to the side. Remember, you're counting as many as you can do in 1 minute. Remember, it doesn't have to be consecutive. You can take a break whenever you need, but get as many done in the minute as you can.
Yeah, it's not a race, guys. Make sure you're doing the right form. I always emphasize form. Form can be even more important than reps. So making sure your feet are on the ground at all times and your palms are always on the floor. Just coming up with hitting your abs in the floor. Just reach out against your toes. Lock down. Repeat.
Exactly. All right. Good job, guys. We have 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. Take your minute break. Get your piece of paper out. Record how many you did. Remember, you're going to need to hold on to this paper for the next 6 weeks so that when we do our final lesson, we can see how far we have worked on our muscular strength and endurance.
Yeah, make sure you got the stretch now if you want. 30 seconds.
All right, good job, guys. You can pause the video whenever you need to if you need a longer break than that, but we're just gonna move right back into doing our sit-ups again. So remember, doing as many as you can for a minute. Remember, keeping your form. Your legs should be bent. Your feet should never come off the floor. Your hands should be staying on the ground there, just like Mr. Romer is. Pushing ourselves, we're halfway through. Remember, you should be feeling this in your core. You want to suck your belly button into your spine. About 20 more seconds here. Oops. I just restarted that, but that's okay. We're going to do 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good job, guys. So again, record that score on your piece of paper and hold on to it. The next activity we're going to be doing is burpees. So we're not doing burpees with a push-up. We're doing, you start from a squat, you go into a plank, and then you jump up. So let's start that minute over and let's begin. So remember, you want to jump straight up, go back into your plank position, and keep going. This one is going to be testing your cardio and your cardiovascular endurance as well as your muscular endurance. This one you might need to take a little bit more of a break on in between your minute, and that's okay. Whatever your body is telling you to do is what you need to listen to for your body. You can see Mr. Romer doing a little bit of a modification too. If you can't get the whole jump in, that's okay. Go down and step back. All right, 20 more seconds here. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, record your scores on that piece of paper, take a break, get some water, shake them out. This one is a little bit more challenging, both for your muscular endurance and your cardiovascular endurance. Mr. Romer, is your heart rate up?
Oh, it's pumping right now. Yeah, you guys can put your hand to your heart if you want to feel it. I just want to beat out of my chest. But a really good cardio one. Football players always use this. I know when I was always playing football, we would always be doing burpees just because it's such a good exercise. So good for your heart, so good for your lungs, and just overall great cardio or muscular endurance exercise.
All right, about 15 more seconds here of a break. Remember, guys, if you do need a longer break, you can always pause the video and wait for a little bit longer. But you're going to get ready in your stance, and then we're going to get started in 3, 2, and 1. So remember, you go to your plank, you jump up, and you jump forward into the sky. Reach for the stars as high as you can. Remember, if you need to do the modification too, where you just step back from your plank, that's fine as well. You want to try and push yourself and do the most that you can. See how well your muscular endurance is at this date and time.
Yeah, there's definitely different ways to do this. There's no perfect set way to do it. As long as you guys are jumping, getting the plank in, coming down, you definitely have a good burn.
Exactly. All right, guys, 10 more seconds. Get as many as you can in here, and then we're going to write down our results. And we have 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, awesome job, guys. I know that one was super hard.
Yeah.
So remember to write down your results from those last burpee set, and Mr. Romer's going to go over our review here.
All right, so the review. So as we said before, this is your assessment. So this is going to be the flip grip group code. You guys have your phones. If not, you can probably maybe use your parents or something. And you're just going to scan this barcode, or you can visit the website. And it's basically going to ask you questions of the day. So we're going to want you guys to, sorry, I'm a little out of breath from that. Just going to ask you to introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about you, first, last name, where you're from, some hobbies you might have. And then you're going to tell us the difference between muscular strength and endurance. A little hint, like I said before, strength is more immediate, endurance is more over time. And then what are some ways you can use the FIT principle in your own workouts? So a little hint there too, F and the I, or yeah, stand for frequency and, intensity, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, just making sure. And then the T's you guys can figure out.
Or we can just go right back to it right here.
Oh,
Back on our vocab lesson, our FIT principle, remember, is frequency, intensity, time, and type. And so remember, you can scan this QR code. There's also this link you can use. And then for our next class, what you will need to be prepared, you will need a yoga mat or a towel, and then you will need a free weight or a manipulative weighted object. You guys did awesome today. We can't wait to see what you're going to leave us on Flipgrid. See you guys next week.
Yep, see you guys.
How do I stop?